Living Local Carolina with Katie Turner. Local trends, shopping, dining, and more. This is Living Local Carolina.
Well, good morning and thanks for joining us today on Living Local Carolina. Today I am in Surfside Beach. I am at Beach Beads. I've been so excited to come here. Hi Cindy, how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
All right, Cindy, we got a lot of stuff behind us, but tell me a little bit about how you got to be here at Beach Beads.
I found out the store was closing and I came down with a gift certificate that my husband gave me for Christmas. And all of a sudden I just said, have you ever thought about selling it instead of closing it? And 1 month later I owned the store.
Serendipitous.
It was, it happened, everything fell in together and we've enjoyed it. We're working together now instead of apart. My husband and I own the store and run it. Just the two of us, so please be patient. And we've enjoyed having time together. It's just been so great. And the people in Surfside are amazing. They've been so good to us. And the locals too. We have a group that comes in and will be here in just a little while, and they call it beading therapy. And so we're providing things to the community. I like to work with children and help children learn the trade. So I like to be a part of the community. I was in scouting 20 some years and have always tried to give back to the community. So I feel like this is a way that I can and give kids something to do besides working their phones.
That's true. That's
and
true.
It can be a trade. I mean, my daughters did it in college and earned money. So it's something to fall back on too.
Well, let's talk about what all you guys offer here. Not only do you have all these beads where you can make your own stuff, you have kits, you have classes. Give me the whole rundown.
Oh my goodness, we do make and take, which is the most popular in the summer. It's where you can come in and pick out your beads, and then you get a kit and sit down at the table. We walk you through putting it together, and I put the clasp on for no charge.
There's just something about being able to make your own jewelry that makes it so much more special, and then you have that memory too of your vacation or just a time in your life.
It's something you can take back with you, and I have people that come back every year. Kids grew up coming here because it's been here about 20 years, so every year they come and make their own piece of jewelry to take home and remember their trip to Myrtle Beach.
Now, if you're not one of those people that's too great with their hands, you have some already made gorgeous pieces by artists.
Yes.
Lots of different artists
Yes,
here.
I have, including myself, there are 5 of us that make jewelry and sell it here in the store. So you get an original piece of jewelry, handmade, and nobody else will have it. It'll be very unique, and only you will have a piece of your trip as well. Or you can be a local and enjoy the jewelry that we sell around Christmas. We love to have people come in and want that unique and different piece of jewelry to have for someone they love. So sometimes we have guys that come in and they're awkward and they don't know what to do, but they know they want something unique and special and different for their wives for Christmas.
So if somebody is interested in coming in, shopping with you guys, or taking a class, where can they find out more information?
Our website is SC, like in South Carolina, beachbeads.com is our website. We can't sell 4,000 different kinds of beads there, but I do have some of my findings, my wire that we make jewelry with, I sell on there. My classes are listed there, so you can look at the classes and see what the cost and how long they are. I have a great time with that. I love teaching and I love working with people and just seeing the experience. They come in and go, I've never done this before, and then suddenly, oh, this is beautiful, look what I did. Create and inspire. That is what we love to do here. Create and inspire people to go on and make more, and even be creative on your vacation to make something for yourself and to remember the store by and their trip.
We'll be back right after this break with more Living Local Carolina.
Well, welcome back to Living Local Carolina. I am back at Bad Hair Salon today. I'm with Katie and Sarah. How are y'all doing?
Good, how are you?
How are you? I'm doing great.
Wonderful.
So here at Bad Hair, they're very different. They have a more natural route, but you guys have a ton of diverse clients and you have some pretty specialized things that you're good at. I want to kind of take some time to go into that. First, let's start with you, Sarah.
Perfect.
You are a curly hair specialist.
Absolutely.
This is niche, but it's not, right?
Yeah. So there's a lot more people that have texture that maybe either don't know about it or have never properly been taught how to take care of it. And of course, we have so many different textures, from the tightest of curls to the loosest of waves. And we're here to kind of educate you on all of them.
I love that.
Yeah.
And tell me a little bit about what you do.
I'm the bridal director, so I handle all the bridal organizing. I help everybody, send out their contracts for their bridal, for their weddings, and then I help organize our team here, like who's going to do hair and who's doing makeup, and we just have fun with it.
That's a lot to keep track of,
Yeah.
I will say.
Yeah.
So what does a typical day look like for you guys here?
It just kind of depends on the day, but for me personally, again, it's a lot of educating our clients. That's something that always goes back to it. Every curly client that I am with, I go into like our in-depth process of how we're going to style, what we're going to use, why it's going to work for their particular curls, and really give them a personalized and individual routine that's going to work best for their curls. And then we can really break down the actual ingredients that are in our products as well, which helps with my InnerSense training and education. So not only is it great for great for them, but it's great for their curls as well.
Yeah. And you actually, when you leave the salon, you think your hair looks really good.
Yes.
And then you actually can keep it looking good.
Absolutely.
Day after day.
Because we want to give you the same confidence that while you're in salon, that we send you home with that same routine, that you have the confidence to do it when you go home too.
I love that.
Yeah.
And Katie, it's about to be a real busy season for you.
Yes.
What is that like every year? It's got to be pretty rewarding, right?
It is. My favorite part is seeing everything come together and just, seeing the smiles on everybody's faces, the party, the wedding parties. And just, seeing it all come together is very rewarding.
Question. For somebody that is maybe going to become a bride, not naming any names, when would you need to book with you? Like, when would you need to start thinking about that process?
I would say at least 5-6 months in advance.
Okay, write that down.
Yeah, we do book up
Write that
pretty
down,
fast.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised though, a lot of people try to get in last minute, and we're able to work with them too.
I love it. And finally, I want you both to tell me why you love working here at Bad Hair. You guys definitely have a very different dynamic than any salon that I've walked into, but what is it really like?
So I love Bad Hair in general. It really gives you the environment to flourish no matter what your specialty is. We are so diverse, and that allows you to have, what you're the most passionate about. You have a great team of people to support you. There's education on everything, and if you don't know it, we also offer Bad Hair University classes every single Monday to our individual team as well. You can also come from outside as well too. So if there's a topic you don't know, whether it's regular hairstyling and cutting, curly classes, more specialty things, we have you covered. So there's always somebody who can help you, and coaches that are willing to get you to those goals that you want as well. So you're just set up for success here.
Yeah. I love how our whole team is basically a big family, and I love how different we are and how, like Leslie said earlier, about that we recycle every single thing. I just think that's amazing. Not a lot of salons are aware, that what we put out into the world and how it affects the environment. So
You don't know until you know, people. And now I know. All right. Thank you guys so much for talking to me. This portion of Living Local Carolina is sponsored by Lawyer Lisa. Joining us today is attorney Lisa Hostetler Brown to break down an important legal topic that could affect you. Thanks for being here.
Hi, I'm Lisa Hostetler Brown, and this is Legally Speaking with Lawyer Lisa. And today we're going to talk to you a little bit about some of the powers of attorney that you might need. Now, if you've gotten these in the past, listen up, because things may have changed since you got them done a while ago. So the first thing I want to talk to you about are the financial powers of attorney, and then we'll talk about healthcare power of attorney and advance directives. So your financial power of attorney is a really important document. This document is how somebody else is able to manage and access your finances in the event that you need assistance. Now, this document generally will allow them to access it now or during periods of incapacity. Now, it's really important that your agent can act on your behalf if you can't do it, so that they can get access to your funds to pay your bills, to continue paying your mortgage, or to pay for your care in a facility if that's what happens. If you don't have an agent or they can't access your funds, then what happens is they have to file something called a conservatorship with the probate court. And this is a lawsuit against you. And you don't want that. And so getting that financial power of attorney now can be a lot quicker and a lot less painful than having to go through a long drawn out court process that's very expensive down the road. Unfortunately, while the court process is pending, no one has authority to access your funds. They can't get to your money to be able to handle stuff for you. So having this in place is going to help make sure that whatever your needs are can be fulfilled. Now, the next most important thing to think about with a financial power of attorney is choosing the right agents. You may have chosen somebody in the past and their life situation has changed, and now they're not the best fit. When you're deciding who to pick for a financial power of attorney, you want to make sure you're picking somebody that is going to manage your finances in a way that's consistent with what your wishes are. Don't pick somebody that uses all their money up and doesn't have money left at the end of the month. They might do that to your money. Don't choose somebody that you don't trust. Now, the person you pick doesn't have to be a CPA. They don't have to be a lawyer, but you should pick somebody that is going to be able to follow the rules of the game, that they're going to act as a fiduciary, which means in your best interest whenever they're using your money. So choose carefully who your agent is. And my next piece of advice for you is to choose backup agents. It's really important to make sure that you have more than one agent on your documents. I would normally recommend having 3 agents on your documents. Now, if you can't pick up anyone, that's even more of a reason to meet with a lawyer to talk about who's going to be the best for your situation. Because if you're not sure who it is, and you did need this, somebody in your family, usually your next of kin, is going to be filing this conservatorship action on your behalf. And so the person that you didn't want to do it, or the person that you were debating choosing, but you don't think they're right, they might be the ones that end up in charge of all of your assets. So choose for yourself, and you can always put rules in place for how they can manage stuff. Now, the next document that's really important is your healthcare directives. Your healthcare power of attorney, living will, and HIPAA authorization are 3 documents that are legal in nature that will help your agents to decide what kind of healthcare measures should be taken on your behalf. Do you want to be an organ donor? You may have it on your license, but this is a legal document that confirms what your wishes are, whether or not you want to be an organ donor and whether your agent can make that donation on your behalf. It's also going to deal with issues like, should you receive life-sustaining treatment? If you are sick and you can't make decisions for yourself, do you have somebody in place to do that for you? Do they have the authority they need, and can they feel like they're making the decision that you would want them to make? So this is a really important time to not only execute the documents, but to have a plan. Have a conversation with the people that you've chosen. Now, if you've moved here from out of state, or it's been a long time since you've done your documents, and I'd say probably anything over 10 years needs to be revisited. Make sure you have the right documents for your current situation. This is something that should be evolving with you as time goes on. So have the right documents in place. And for some people, they may know that they don't want extraordinary measures to be taken. They wouldn't want tube feeding if they couldn't communicate, they weren't able to eat or drink on their own. I know this isn't something we like to think about, but it's a really important choice for you to make so that somebody else isn't having to figure it out on your behalf. So pay attention to that and get those documents in place. And the HIP authorization is a great document for your agents to be able to access your medical information so that they can assist with what is needed in your situation.
A portion of Living Local Carolina is sponsored by Lawyer Lisa. Thanks for joining us today on Living Local Carolina. I am joined by Joshua. You are a self-proclaimed indie manga creator.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
All right, we got to get down to the bottom of this. Tell everybody what you do and how you got into this in the first place.
So me being an indie manga creator, I've always liked anime, superhero stuff growing up. That was my main inspiration. But then I always had these ideas, like as I was going through things growing up, that I would watch movies and I was like, I could make that better. So in my head, I would like make these movies with my own characters and I'll be sitting in class just daydreaming about these movies that I'm making in my own head. Eventually I started making an idea for some concepts for a manga, and I really didn't act on it until the passing of my mother before college, because my mom passed away then, probably 2 weeks after when my older brothers passed away. That was kind of what, I know that, I know how that's, but sometimes, you know, there's a blessing in the lesson, and in that lesson, it propelled me into acting on the things that my mom believed in me in doing. So I started with the manga. I really didn't get into after the college where I felt like I could draw, but I wanted to draw everything myself. But I then took a course where someone was like, hey, if you can, get out of the way so somebody else can do it, because I'm looking at another 2 years if I try to learn how to do the manga style. So with that, I started on doing it. I started going to conventions, and I would first kind of pick people's brains. One of my early mentors, he was surprised because I just asked him, hey, can I get your number? Can I, reach out to you if I need anything? And I was asking him 6 months later, I'm messaging him, I'm like, hey, guess who's gonna be at the same convention that you were at? And he was surprised. From there, I was just hitting it boots to the ground. And I've done PowerCon, which is a local one for Florence. I've done, I believe, I did the Grand Strand one that's down here, the Grand Strand Comic Con. And then I recently did LA Comic Con. So
that's big.
That was a condensing of the timeline of how we got here. But my main project, there was one time I had a dream, and it was about Camp Geechee. And I then started to connect the dots after I had that dream. I took a Gullah Geechee business course, and they were trying to tie in what I do into the course. They were like, why don't you do a Gullah Geechee story? And I was like, why don't I do a Gullah Geechee story? That's a good point. And I started connecting it, and then that's when all of this came about. And from here, I mean, this is starting to be one of the stories that, despite my main project is doing good, but as people start to hear about Camp Geechee, they're like, we want this.
Yeah.
So that's why we're here right now.
So you're building this world that is completely tied to your own culture.
Yes.
What has the response been so far when you tell people about this?
There's more of a surprise, actually, because no one's doing it. Yeah. I go to a lot of these conventions and I ask people, about Gullah Geechee culture, and I even talk about how a lot of African Americans don't realize here in America, 80% of us have some type of Gullah Geechee lineage, but yet they don't know that they have this lineage. So when I bring up the concept of Camp Geechee, I have been quizzed a little bit, but I'm doing my best as I'm learning about my own history, that I'm, putting it into the story. So that's kind of the fun part about it, is taking something that I found out about Gullah Geechee culture and find a way to twist it and putting it into the story.
It's very unique.
Very unique.
It's very cool what you do. I'm very excited to see where this goes. How can people stay updated with everything that you're doing so they can get that drop the second that it's ready?
Good question. So I have my Instagram that is @_no retreat, no surrender. That's the name of my main project, is No Retreat, No Surrender. My email is missyoujoshua@gmail.com.
Remind me of the Instagram name again.
@_no retreat, no surrender.
Don't forget to like our page on Facebook and follow us on Instagram and Twitter. How to use the QR code. Just open the camera app on your smartphone, iPad, or tablet. Point your device at the QR code so the QR code appears on your screen. Your device will recognize the QR code and show you a notification. Click that notification and you'll come to our website. Living Local Carolina, weekday mornings at 9:30 on WBTW News 13.